What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Do you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
I'll call on you when you get called upon. Please announce your name and which media outlet you are with, and we'll start right here in the middle.
Jonathan Pigliotti with CBS News. For Mayor Bass, please. Mayor, LA County is in a panic state. It began 2 days ago with the Palisades fire. My crew and I arrived shortly after it started, and for several hours we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. We watched as Good Samaritans guided traffic. There was fear and there was a lot of confusion. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that when rest assured, let me finish. Rest assured, when that is done, when we are safe, when lives have been saved and homes have been saved, we will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc. But my focus right now is on the lives and on the homes.
Do you think your leadership was effective while responding to this disaster?
I just said what I believe is the most important thing for us to do right now, and that is going to continue to be my focus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm super. Yeah, okay, so yesterday I showed you a video when she got off the plane and she couldn't speak. She had no words. Didn't want to even enter into a conversation. So obviously she got back to the office. They gave her the script to memorize overnight, and that's the best she could come up with. After this is over, we'll figure out what went wrong. Everybody on the outside right now can tell you what has gone wrong. Your entire government, from local to head of the state, is completely incompetent. Nobody has any time for your BS anymore. In fact, I was trying to find a BS a BS sound effect that would offend everybody. But people are over it at this point. And it's not just people in California. The world, especially here in America, we're watching this crap. We're all seeing it go down. It's not making any sense to anybody. And all you did is promote, unfortunately, DEI candidates to run a city. No experience, had no idea what the hell they were doing, and now you're trying to find a way to, push the blame on Trump, push the blame on climate change, instead of realizing these loons out there in California have somehow orchestrated a way to get all these people elected, whether it's Soros money or whatever, and now you're finding out when the poop hits the fan, there's nobody there. There's nobody there of any competence to make things correct. Luckily, some people are now beginning to open their eyes. I don't know if there's going to be enough of them in California, but I'm seeing a lot of blue type people, blue meaning Democrats, that are sounding the alarm. And they're realizing they've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, as the movie says. It's taken this long for them to finally realize, oh crap, these people really do have no clue. And all they did is put people in office who checked a certain box. And they thought that was okay. Speaking of checking a box.
We're inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 33.
It's never enough. I don't have enough of these type of people working for me. And there's never going to be enough. I need to flood the zone. I need to get rid of all the competent people and bring as many of those people into the firefighting force as possible. She actually said that. And it wasn't yesterday. That was from before. And no one in California looked at her side-eyed and went, wait. So it's not about, equity. It's about full takeover. That's what you actually want. You want the entirety of the firefighting force to be populated not with competent people, not with people who have been trained and have a meritorious reason for being there, but rather they need to be of the Rainbow Coalition.
300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that was an opportunity for me.
We ran out of water.
Hey, they didn't even know. This is a whole new world. It's like Disney. It's a whole new world. You get to come out here and you get paid good money. We're going to make sure you get paid really well. Notice nowhere in that statement did she say these people, whoever they may be, would be providing the best coverage and protection to serve the communities that they're, supposed to serve. No, this is great for them. It's going to be so great, and I just can't get enough. You voted this in, and you're paying them, crazy money. Then you got this other crazy DEI hire who's in charge of the water.
And the first tank about 4:45 p.m. yesterday. We ran out of water in the second tank about 8:30 p.m. and the third tank about 3 a.m. this morning. Those tanks help with the pressure on the fire hydrants and the hills of Palisades. And because we...
In order to really appreciate what's going on here, watch the black guy's face. This guy looks like, oh man, I need to get on that Southwest airline commercial. Want to get away?
We're pushing so much water in our trunk line, and so much water was being used before it can get to the tanks. We were not able to fill the tanks fast enough, so the consumption of water was faster than we can provide water in our trunk line. So I want to make sure that you understand there's water on the trunk line. It just cannot get up the hill because we cannot fill the tanks fast enough.
What is the number of hydrants that could not get water because of these pressure issues? What percentage of the system in Pacific Palisades wasn't getting service at that point?
We were trying to keep water at all altitudes on the Palisades, and I think about 3 in the morning, that's when the hydrants went dry above the Brentwood area. We are able to push water.
So I just want to break for a second there, because she's explaining why there was not enough water. You know, the tank was dry, we didn't push the right button, didn't have enough this, didn't do that. None of which has anything to do with so-called climate change, which is what they've been trying to, basically say all of this is because of. There was nothing climate related to pushing the right buttons and making sure the thing was filled and the tank had this and the other tank had that. We got no water. And you didn't realize it, huh?
On that trunk line on the east side of that, and we have some water on higher elevations, 16 to 18,000. But at 3,000, at 3 a.m., all of the fire hydrants went dry in the Palisades. What are we doing now? We're sending about 20 water tanks for our construction crews, full of water to support the fire department.
Again, keep looking at the guy, the black guy who just.
We identify other areas in our system where our tankers can refill. It takes about 30 minutes to refill about 4,000 gallons of water, and we're constantly moving that water to the fire department to get them as much water as we can. For the people on zip code 90272, because we're pushing the water system so hard, our water quality is decreasing. So we're going to be issuing
Wait. So you're telling me you don't have enough water to fight the fires, and by pushing more water to fight the fires, you're affecting the quality of my drinking water. I mean, is this like robbing Peter to pay Paul? We're talking, this isn't a third world country. This is Los Angeles. This is California. And you're telling me we got to pull water here so we can fight fires there, and we're going to contaminate the stuff that you might be drinking. She just said that. And now you know why people in California are like, what the, you know what? How does one have anything to do with the other?
And that will extend for about 48 hours. The water quality is low. We have a lot of ash in the system. And so please, if you're going to be drinking water, you need to boil the water.
Oh, wait. Anybody have a problem with what she just said? I can look in the chat. Let me just check. She said, if you have any problem with the water, go ahead and boil the water. Where? I don't have a house. There's no electricity. There's no gas. How in the flip do you expect them to boil water? There are 400,000 people without power in the affected areas. And you got this lady, and you won't believe how much money she's making, saying, okay, so we're going to pull water here, but when we pull the water here, it's going to make your drinking water suck, so you're going to have to boil water. Excuse me, lady, we don't have any power. If we even have a house to boil the frickin' water in, we don't have any gas or electricity. And no wonder the black guy's behind her going, oh no, what is this woman saying? Why don't you have the National Guard out there distributing bottled water? This is literally the Three Stooges. It is a clown show of epic proportions, and people's lives are depending upon it. And again, that has nothing to do with climate change. You don't have the National Guard rolling in the streets, helping the people who are climbing through the rubble. Hey, don't drink this. Go ahead and boil it. Well, how the hell do you want me to boil it? Should I go over, put some wood together, play Survivor in my lot? Go over the hot coals of what's left of my property? Boil water, huh? Okay.
Boil waters will continue to increase as the system starts restoring.
I know you hope to be able to deploy the aerial assets more when the wind is dying down, but there are...
No, this is where, I shouldn't say funny. Because every time these people go up to a podium and say something, there's someone else on television saying completely something different. Just
reports that there is no water in the hydrants in some of the areas battling this fire. But city officials are saying and telling CNN that there's no water shortage. So what's happening?
Well, I did get a little education on water supply systems for the Palisades. I didn't know a lot about that. But what
it's your job to know about it. I just got a little bit of education. I know I'm getting paid a whole lot of money, and I just found out some stuff I didn't know either. Meanwhile, people are dying. Their entire livelihoods are being torched, and you got these people on television going, I didn't know that. Ooh, that's news to me. I just found out.
Sounds like is they've got these 3 massive tanks that they use their residential water, and each tank has 1 million gallons in it. And so those are built for residential use, and that usually supplies the city of Palisades wells. So, but they're not designed for urban wildland firefighting for 15 hours straight. So you can imagine all the water that pulled out because they're not part of a main system because of the terrain.
So she just put a nice bigger picture. The tanks that other lady was talking about was the water reserved for the people who lived there. And it's not designed to fight fires, where the hoses are locked open because they're fighting fires. It's designed for people taking showers and flushing toilets. One little bit at a time, not holding a fire hose. Man, it's getting bad.
Because of the steep hills and the windy roads and things like that, that is what works for that community. But they aren't really built for that type of excessive use. So as soon as, that started dwindling, I think it was Department of Water Power came in and they helped fill up those tanks. And they're really trying to pull that all together and get those hydrants all working again. And the ones way up need more pressure, need more volume. So it took a bit, but, they got everything back online.
What is the situation with water? Obviously in Palisades ran out last night.
This is Governor Newsom.
Hydrants, I was talking to the firefighter on this block. Yeah. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just...
In case you didn't hear what he just said, Anderson Cooper from CNN said, hey man, there's no water in the hydrants. What's going on? The local people got to figure it out. He's standing in front of burning houses. This isn't CGI. It's not a green screen. The governor of California is standing in front of burning houses all around him. Heavy smoke. Anderson Cooper says to him, there is no water. Well, hey, these local folks got to figure it out. What do you think? I'm just the governor. You're lucky people aren't coming with you with, pitchforks and torches. Because the torches are readily available at this point. I don't know if they could find the pitchforks, but they could find the torches.
A system that is not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's got to be determined by the local.
Locals. Basically, the governor of California said, you're on your own. My office is upstate. Y'all got to figure this out locally here. Of course, people have to be losing it at this point. Let me just show you something. This kind of thing is probably gonna tick you off. These are the 3 ladies I just showed you. Karen Bass, the mayor. Kristen Crowley, she is the fire chief. And Janice Quinones, she's the Department of Los Angeles Department of Water. Let me scroll down so you can see something. You're not going to believe this. Okay. Karen Bass, her salary is $250,000 a year. Kristen Crowley, the fire chief, is $440,000 a year. And Janice Quinones, well, she hit the mother lode. She's the lottery ticket. She makes $750,000 per year. These are the three ladies basically running things right now in the LA area. They're all making at least $250,000 a year, and two of them, one's close to $500,000, and the other one's at $750,000 per year. Not bad scratch if you can get it, especially when you don't know what you're doing. Over the last 24 hours, you saw the lady on the far left, Karen Bass, show up at the airport and have nothing to say to people as their houses were burning. The lady in the middle, she has decided that it's much more important to basically populate the ranks of the firefighters with people like her. And that's how I'm going to say it, so these guys don't get mad. And the lady on the right, yeah, she gets a cool $750,000. $750,000 to decide to tell you to boil water when you got no pots and pans and no stove. Those three stooges are running things in the Los Angeles area. God help these people. But it gets worse. Because instead of criticizing these people, instead of saying, hey man, these people look completely incompetent, what are we going to do? Oh no, the media has much better things to say. This is Pride magazine. And I think you know what they're talking about. Amid the Palisades fire, Los Angeles' first LGBTQ plus fire chief is proving lesbians are getting it done. Don't get mad at me, I'm reading a headline. Los Angeles' first LGBTQ plus fire chief is proving lesbians are getting it done. Move. If there's dirt left, sell the dirt. Do whatever you need to do. You're toast. Unless you can convince Trump to take over the state, do something. This is absurd. This is absolutely insane. Lesbians be getting it done. What was most interesting about this picture, about the lesbians getting it done, is she's standing next to burning houses. Whoever the photography was by Irfan Khan, Getty Images, Shutterstock, blah, 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 blah. They chose pictures of houses burning down while they're saying the lesbian is getting it done. Y'all can't get mad at me. I'm just reading, and this is the picture they posted on Pride magazine. I'm not saying anything derogatory. I'm just showing you what's on the cover of the magazine. You can see it. Hi, I'm getting it done. Ignore the stuff burning over here while I'm getting it done. Maybe what they considered getting it done and what the people who lived in that burning house considered getting it done might have been a little bit different of a definition. She might have been getting something else done, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. You know, the jokes can write themselves. I'm not a comedian. I don't get paid to make jokes. But you guys serve up this crap. When you're putting this stuff out there, what are people supposed to think? No wonder why Mark Zuckerberg said, hey, I'm no longer protecting this. And it's crazy when people will write things of this nature. Someone actually had to say, I'm going to make this title. in the midst of the entire area burning down, I'm going to make this title, put it on a cover next to a burning house, and praise her for the job she's doing. And then get mad when people like, me point it out. I'm literally just showing you what you put out there. And the people in California, in that immediate area, you guys have got to be beside yourself. You've got to be thinking at this point, what the hell did I get myself into? Well, Donald Trump has had enough. And I mean, incoming president, and the incoming president says this, and he's absolutely right for saying it. One of the best and most beautiful parts of the United States of America is burning down to the ground. It's in ashes, and Gavin Newsom should resign. This is all his fault. He continued with a second post on Truth. Fire is spreading rapidly for 3 days. Zero containment. Nobody has ever seen such failed numbers before. Gross incompetence by Gavin and Karen Bass. And Biden's FEMA has no money. All wasted on the Green New scam. LA is a total wipeout. And he completed his triage, or his trinity here, with Governor Newsom should immediately go to Northern California and open up the water main and let the water flow into his dry, starving, burning state instead of having it go out into the Pacific Ocean. It ought to be done right now. No more excuses from this incompetent governor. It's already far too late. You see, all of us can post things, but none of us has the power to do anything, including Trump. At this point, we're all looking at this crap show and going, you gotta be kidding me, right? Everyone's pointing, what's the local people? They gotta fix this. They gotta do something. My goodness. And it just goes on and on and on. It's incompetence. I look at these salary numbers here, and I just cannot believe that this women, I think, are getting paid this way. Here's a little detail. Karen Bass, as I said, gets $250 per year. Remember, she cut the fire department funding by $17 million. She left LA for Africa as the fire warnings increase. Kristen Crowley, the great lesbian, she gets $444,000 per year. She created systemic equity and inclusion across the fire department. And, in case you didn't know it, she donated a bunch of Los Angeles fire supplies to Ukraine. Such a virtuous person. And then Janice Quinones, she gets $750,000, and she let the fire hydrants run dry as Pacific Palisades burned. At this point, it's beyond incompetence. We've seen incompetence with the Democrats for quite some time. We've seen 4 years of just what we think is incompetence. I, long time ago, stopped thinking this was incompetence. You cannot be this incompetent, if I've said the word enough for you. This is intentional. You see, I saw something from Libs of TikTok yesterday, or I think it was her, and she said when the Karen Bass thing happened at the airport, she said that Karen Bass froze up. She didn't freeze up. And you have to understand, Karen Bass didn't speak because Karen Bass wasn't told what to say. She didn't get the memo. Whoever is controlling things hadn't stuck their hand up her rear end and said, here's what you have to say. And then you saw what happened when she did her press conference. I don't know if you saw it, but let me just tell you. She turned into Joe Biden. She turned into the Ron Burgundy of LA mayors. She read a teleprompter. The words were right there for her. And how do we know this? Because they got to a point where said blah, 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 URL. She was supposed to say, www, and she was too stupid to understand what a URL is. And so she said the word URL. Go to URL. She read it on the screen. Go to URL. Oh, Karen, it's supposed to be go to www. Oh my God, you're an idiot.com. That's what it's supposed to say. You've heard Joe say that many times. These people, it's not incompetence. They are told specifically what to say, what to do. They all sit there with their cue cards and they read specifically what they're supposed to say. The words have been given to them. These people are not experienced. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And people in the shadows are running everything. Everything. Your military, your big inner cities, everything. And so when the shit hits the fan and these people have to react instantaneously, they can't. They don't have the ability because they were never designed to be there for their ability. So they have to wait until somebody says, oh, okay, so I think you should go to X Street and on Z Avenue and load up your water there. We'll have trucks waiting for you. You get off the plane, you don't know that. Joe, blah, 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 blah. The good part is I got a new great-granddaughter. What? You're the president. That's what you have to say to people? And now I get to go get some ice cream. No questions. Get off the stage. Get out of here. See, you've been thinking for a long time that these people are stupid. You've been thinking for a long time that these people, they're just the worst at their job. No, they're not. They're doing exactly what they were hired and installed to do. And it's now people are starting to see this, go, wait a second. Wait, what in the hell is going on? What do you mean? What the hell does that even mean? Seriously, what does that even mean? You can go down a line of homes in Malibu, a line of homes even on Sunset Strip or Sunset Boulevard at this point, and you can ask any of those people, is she proving that she's getting it done? I don't know, let me know. Do you care that she's a lesbian getting it done? How about the other lady? Do you care that you're being told to boil water when you don't even have a roof? It's not incompetence. They don't know what to say because they're not supposed to know what to say. You heard the other lady. Oh, I just found out this morning that the water is supposed to be here. What do you mean you just found out this morning? I think Americans have to begin moving into, phase 2 here and realizing Trump's got a huge job ahead of him. These people and everybody in these governments across the country are puppets. And I think people are now realizing we're in deep crap. And so now Joe's leaving in, 11 days, and it's still burning. Before I clicked the button to go live here, it was still at 0% contained. So this thing could burn until Trump gets inaugurated. And they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, let me just take some questions. Oh, by the way, I don't know where you live, but this is a picture of cat turd. This is what weather in Florida looks like right about now. We woke up this morning. I went to my stretch class, and it was like 41 degrees outside. I'm like, whew, which is why I've got the long sleeve, shirt on today. Unbelievable. Cold down here. But I'm not going to belabor that because you guys are going to call me a wuss. But in any event, let me know what you guys think. We don't need no water attitude. Maybe they're trying to leave Trump as much of a mess as possible. It's not Trump they're leaving the mess to. This is from a administrative perspective. Once this is all done, it's an easy administrative thing. You basically got to cut some checks. Take care of these people. The problem is, well, I got that coming up in the show. See, here's where these Democrats are really, where it's really gonna. I'm saving it for a later part, but when you look down the coastline, that's some of the most prime real estate in the world. And now it's all gone. And so it's going to be condemned. And as soon as it's condemned, now guess who gets to administer and manage all that property that you think you own? The city. You see, in order for you to, basically, and people in North Carolina can tell you this. Hey, this is my land. I own this land. Great. Okay. What's next? Well, I'm Daddy Warbucks. I've done 15 movies. I'm going to pay for it cash, and I'm going to build a new, better McMansion up here. Okay, what's your address, sir? What was your address? Oh, okay, great. Oh, so we've got a new code now, and in order to build, we're going to need all these 10 pages of stuff from your architect. What? Yeah, you're going to need this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, before you even allow you to rebuild. And then you're going to have to make sure that the turtle and the fish and the bird and the snake and, even the little blade of grass, all that stuff is going to be taken care of before you can start to build. Oh yeah, wait till you see what's going to happen when these blue-haired administrators get to stand up against someone who's, trying to build a $20 million house there, who they don't even like you because you got too much money. Even if you play on the same team and you're a Democrat, and even if you play on the other same team where you're from Lesbians Gone Wild. They ain't going to let you do what you want to do on that piece of property. It's probably going to cost you, you had a $20 million house, it's going to cost you $40 million to build it. Trust me, it's coming. See, those houses, some of those beautiful houses in the Hollywood Hills, some of those houses are there since 1929, 1930. They've been passed down from actor to actor. They've been renovated. They're beautiful. And now they're gone. And all that land is now subject to new codes, regulations, and regulations, and regulations. And you watch. A $10 million house is going to cost $25 million to build. If you can get the stuff to build it. They don't even know what's coming next. You put these people in place. And now, where you thought they were the help, you are now going to be beholden to them. Wait till you get a load of this guy. He's got a nose ring, half bald and pink hair here, and wears a skirt. And you tell him you want to build your nice new $20 million mansion. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, that's a lot of irony there. Yeah, eminent domain sucks. I've been through it. I don't think they'll go as far as eminent domain yet, but the regulations that are already on the books that are new since that house was built. Maybe they don't even let you pour concrete in that area. Maybe they don't let you, build over 2 stories and you have a 3-story mansion. Oh, you have no idea. Unless you've gone through those codes, there's nothing you can do. I'm talking to you from experience because of the houses that I've renovated, the houses that we've built, different things, condo conversions. The regulations ain't what you think they are. Down here, there's a trick. So if you want to go in and build a house, and you buy a land, you want to tear the house down, you leave the garage kind of like the archway, and you call it a addition instead of a new build. Regulations are crazy, absolutely crazy. 15 minutes, smart city coming. Yeah, these are all, the Rod Reiners of the world, you people who made gazillions, who thought you were masters of the universe. You're about to find out who the masters of the universe are. Just in case you don't know, let me introduce you to a couple of the masters of the universe in case you don't know, because lesbians getting it done, yo. Getting it done. maybe what they had in mind was a little bit different than what you had in mind, because they seem to be proud of the fact that the shit's burning. Oh yeah. You're going to find out class warfare has reached a whole new point here. And what's horrible, I mean, nobody wants to see anyone lose their home. But now it's just beginning. Now, I am telling you right now, having gone through regulations in some of the toughest cities here, they ain't nothing compared to what these people on the beach in Malibu and Sunset Hollywood. Oh, can you imagine? So we got to make sure this doesn't happen next time. So in order to build your home, you're going to have fire suppression in it. What? Yeah, you're going to have to build a sprinkler system in your house. And you got to make sure the water isn't coming from the ocean, so you're going to have to build a tank, a reservoir in your own house to house the water that you may need for the next forest fire. You may think I'm joking. You may think, Barry, that's far-fetched. There are probably people there already going, have you seen the new building codes? See, we went through it down here years ago. That's why if you come to South Florida, you probably won't find any wood homes anywhere. Maybe in some of the real poor neighborhoods you might find some because nobody's buying them. But as soon as Hurricane Andrew came through here, whatever year that was, and wiped out so many homes in South Florida, excuse me, they instituted something called the Miami-Dade Building Codes, which a lot of South Florida adopted. Those Miami-Dade Building Codes covered everything from style of home, which means you had to have a certain amount of concrete reinforcement. You had to have hurricane impact windows. Once you if you buy a house that doesn't have hurricane impact windows and then you want to put them in, you've got to go through whole different codes. The codes changed because of Hurricane Andrew. It's called the Miami-Dade Building Codes. So what's going to happen, there's going to be the forest fire building code happening out in California. A lot of these people got a lot of money. They'll be able to pay for it, but it's going to cost a lot more than what they think. And then when that costs more, it's going to cost more to build public housing or apartment buildings or retail establishments. Somebody's going to make a lot of money, and some people are just going to bail and sell the property. One thing Trump should do is say any property anywhere in the country that is destroyed because of a natural disaster cannot be bought by BlackRock or some of these other vulture companies. Because right now, people in the BlackRock boardrooms are like, okay, so that one's 20 million, this one's 15, we could probably get this one 5. Oh, by the way, I hope you still don't have a mortgage on that property that burned down, because if you don't have any insurance, you still owe the money on that property. Oh yeah, did you think about that? People kept talking about insurance the last couple days. Let's take a couple minutes talking about insurance, shall we? So people had fire insurance, similar to people down here having hurricane insurance. So if the hurricane comes and blows your house away, the insurance company comes and they write you a check for the value of the property. The value of the property. Okay? So, who's determining the value of the property? I hope it's not that judge in New York who said that Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million because you're screwed. But in any event, that means that only works if you had insurance. Now, let's say you have a $15 million house and you got a mortgage somehow, but you didn't get insurance, or your insurance got canceled. You got to pay off that mortgage first before you can spend the next $10 million to rebuild. Nightmare fuel. Absolute nightmare fuel. And people are going to get pissed off. And I guarantee you what you're going to hear over the next month. These bad insurance companies. These insurance companies screwed me. The insurance company did this. The insurance company did that. No, they didn't. See, this is where it's going to take some educating of people who didn't see what was coming. If you have you've heard it with Obamacare, you're predisposed, you have diabetes, you have a heart condition, you have something wrong with you, you are considered a higher risk candidate. So your insurance, if you could get it, was going to be much higher. So Obamacare, the idea behind it was, hey, you've got a pre-existing condition, we're not going to boot you, you still can get it, and you're going to be able to pay like everybody else. The insurance companies go, what you talking about, Willis? This person's got diabetes, heart condition, we can't take on this added risk. Oh, we're the government, we can. Write it. Good. But there's no Obama fire care. So what happens is, the people who write insurance, there's something called an actuarial science, where they say if we have this many people paying in, and we have this many people that we got to pay out, we have to make sure that these two things are close so that we can make some money. We're in it for profit. We're not. It's not a charity. So what ends up happening is like, okay, so we got to make sure the risks are covered. Okay, are we covered from theft? Yes. Are we covered this? Yes. Are we covered from fire? Fred, are we covered with fire? Well, I don't think it's a good risk. Why? Because Gavin Newsom and the rest of these nuts won't let us go ahead and clear out the forest. What do you mean? So things can catch fire. There's a whole lot of stuff out there that can go up in smoke. Insurance company goes, that's a higher risk. So we got two choices. We can either take it as is or increase the rate because of the higher risk. You can think of it in terms of Obamacare. You can think of it as terms of your credit. The more risk you have, the higher it's going to cost to do something. It's the way business runs. I don't have to insure you. I don't have to give you a car loan. You have to prove to me that you have the wherewithal to make it right. So the insurance companies started seeing, hey, this is a problem. We're canceling it. We're not even going to get involved here. You guys deal with it on your own. But that happened because of what happened with the government out there not cleaning up the brush. That's what Trump has been telling them. You got water problems? Just imagine this yourself. You're Mr. Insurance Company. You're Fred Insurance. And I come to you and say, hey, listen, I'd like you to insure my property. You're like, sure. Okay, Barry, you got a job? Yeah. You can afford this? Yep, they can do this. Let's see here. You're in a high-risk fire area. I'm going to have to raise your rates accordingly because you're a higher risk. Instead of, $2,000 a year, I'm going to have to raise your rate to, maybe $8,000 a year. Oh my God, the insurance companies are jacking me. No. The insurance company is charging you according to the risk. The risk increased because your government is incompetent and it's worried about the lesbians getting it done. And they're using the lesbians getting it done and the marketing by showing burned houses. That's not what an insurance company wants to see. If the lesbians were getting it done, you should have had a whole bunch of them standing there with fire hoses and picks and axes, not showing her standing there next to a burned out house. So what you're going to hear over the next couple weeks is how the insurance companies are screwing these people. You're going to hear it from the government, and that's not it at all. It is specifically the cause of what these people have done. And the insurance companies were out. Now, there may have been some unscrupulous insurance people who said, we're going to give you 30 days notice, which is horrible. I agree with that. They may have said, we're giving you, 45 days notice. But it's not unscrupulous to say, I don't want to do business with you. You are too much of a risk. Sorry, good luck. But people aren't going to want to hear that. And you watch how the media and everybody starts talking about this and how they twist it because they need to protect the lesbians who are getting it done. Watch what happens. Yeah, they're gonna glorify it and demonize them, saying they're greedy. That's exactly what they're gonna say. I mean, none of us works for free. Not a single one of us, unless we're doing charitable work, is working for free. These people aren't working for free. California is dying. Yep, we need common sense back to get rid of all this madness. Absolutely, that's the biggest thing. People in Carolina are freezing to death in tents, while people in California are trapped and burning to death in their homes. Really, exactly. Barry, I believe that they wrecked their party. The party of the donkey of the Dems is going to fall straight to hell. That's what I'm about to show you. Great comment, because I think people are starting to wake up, and as they're waking up, they're realizing we've been screwed. And now, you know, two areas, North Carolina, which turned into a blue state, and now California. Notice you didn't hear this when the Florida hurricanes. They didn't even cover it hardly. Yeah, Florida got hit with a hurricane and people lost their houses. You want to talk about the response down here? Nope. So, people are noticing. Listen.
Who gives a shit if the fire chief is gay? I'm sorry, but who gives a flying fig about who she likes to sleep with? Can you fight the fires, madam? That's the relevant question. We don't care about your lady parts, and we don't care who you want having access to them. Can you fight fires? Can you make sure there's water in the fire hydrants when you realize in Ventura County this is a massive problem? When you realize that California is going through a drought where they haven't had rain in weeks and months.
Let me stop you there. See, that's another thing. This didn't catch people by surprise. I've grown up, and you've probably grown up, knowing about the Santa Ana winds. I didn't even know what a Santa Ana wind was until I started realizing, oh, shit, these things come in and they whip up. They're like dry hurricanes. The climate didn't change. We've been having Santa Ana winds forever. So a competent person would know we need to make sure that this stuff is in place, you know, because the Santa Ana winds are going to blow.
Don't care who turns you on. And you know why they have only 100 women in a squad of 3,300? Because women tend to be smaller and not as strong. And unless you lower the requirements to become a firefighter, most women can't pass the test. This is an absurdity. This is just like the Secret Service and what happened with Trump. We needed all these women in there who weren't even tall enough to protect the 6'3" president. Under this woman, Ms. Crowley, the department created a diversity, equity, and inclusion bureau to train firefighters not on refilling the hydrants or what to do when they're empty, but on the importance of DEI.
No water in the Palisades. The infrastructure has been a big problem around here, and where we should spend the money. I do have a difference with that.
Yeah.
That's actor, excuse me, Dennis Quaid. Randy Quaid's brother. He became somewhat conservative over the last couple of years, and you're going to see a lot more of these people like, wait a minute, I pay a crap load of taxes to live out here. You know, that's another thing you won't hear. Oh, well, they're rich, they can do it. Well, understand, in addition to being rich, which I will never, ever have a problem with somebody making money. What I have a problem with is why in the hell you live in California where you got to give up all that money to the government? Same thing with people who live in New York. Hey, I make 10, 12 million a year. What's your net? Oh, I net about 6. So you're okay giving up 50 or 60% of your money just to say I live in New York or California. Yeah, good luck with that. Maybe that's why business is booming down here in South Florida.
And the mayor coming back, I'm sure she got on the first plane coming back, but having nothing to say once she got here. I don't know if that was edited like that, but
yeah,
Not a good look.
You got to hit the ground running.
Right.
The guys who lost their $20 million homes on the ocean side of PCH.
Now, this is Adam Carolla. He got chased out of his home. He's talking to you from a hotel. And he's going to lay out specifically what I just been telling you. This is the new reality for these celebrities, entertainers, athletes. You're getting to a point where you're signing that check because you got it like that. Some of these people ain't got it like that. They've got equity, they have residuals, but they're not getting those big checks anymore, and they're living in these fat houses. And the reality of rebuilding, if they want to stay in California, is about to hit them upside the head.
Will be knee-deep in the permit process. They will be trying to pull permits when the guys in the Winnebagos will have been back for months before those guys ever get a permit. As a matter of fact, good luck. Because here's the deal. Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers moved because they could not get a permit to rebuild their home of 40 years on the ocean on PCH, right? So here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you guys a little primer of what's going to happen. You know how Bill Maher seems real conservative now when he's like arguing with Jane Fonda about regulations, too many regulations, like strangling everything? Because remember, when Bill Maher tried to put solar in his house in Beverly Hills, that's when he turned against the government, because he saw what the government and the overreach of government and overregulation does. He got strangled. It took him 3 years to build a solar shack. He had a whole countdown on his show, day 1,000 since I've got my permit for my solar. He turned. Okay. The people who live in Malibu, who live in Santa Monica, who live in the Palisades, those are some of the most progressive blue voters in the world, or in the United States. They are a bastion of blue. So what those guys did is, all the people in the Palisades, I checked it out. It's about 80% blue, 80% progressive, 80% Democrat. Now, these pussies are all sitting around crying about Karen Bass, water pressure, how come the forest wasn't cleared of all the brush, what's happening with the infrastructure. You guys all voted for Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. You all voted for Gavin Newsom. And now you fucking get what you get. Oh, now...
Oh, my God. Oh, these people are in for the hurting. I mean, an absolute... just imagine, this is coming on the heels of the, the Jabademic, which basically destroyed Hollywood the first time. And now all these people have no place to live. And they're going to find out really quick how these people that they've been voting for are going to turn on them. They didn't realize it. It was liberal nirvana. We can, we save the whales. We want to do that. And the little people out there, you guys, you're going to love it. And now you watch as one by one, they begin screaming about what they're going to have to do. It's definitely coming. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but I've told you there's going to be some opportunity. And I've been looking on X, and I've been seeing these people talk, and they're like, and they're starting to eat each other. There was one actor, I forget her name was, and she said something, and when she said something, the other blue hairs started screaming at her, because once you get that ticket on the Democrat ship, you're not allowed to get off. You're not ever allowed to leave. And even talking about leaving can get you destroyed. And so Adam Carolla, he's been off for a while. He's already been off. But when you start seeing some of these other ones who've been either quiet or are now starting to realize, Whitney Cummings. I got a video, I think, later tonight on Whitney Cummings and her crying about it. They actually, oh God, oh my God. And like, no refunds. Denise Crosby, who probably hasn't been in a show in 20 years, they attacked her. She's out there like, and she said what I said to you guys. She said, you know, it doesn't matter how much money I have, doesn't matter what the wealth is, doesn't matter where I live. I'm a human. I don't give a shit. You're a lefty, and you can no longer talk about the government in a bad way. Period. You do not get to have the ability, you don't have the ability to speak against the family. This is a family matter. Deal with it. It is a mob. These people are nuts.
Now that your house is on fire, well, now you're thinking about something else. Now you want to know what's going on. What's going on around here? You didn't give a shit about what was going on when other people's houses were on fire, but now you care. So here's what's going to happen. All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old from the Coastal Commission telling them to go off. And then they're going to vote for Trump or whoever's Trumpian next. You see, they're going to get turned. They're going to get turned hard because, as I've always said, live in the rent control apartment in Santa Monica, fine, good. We know how you vote. Go deal with the city. Try to pull a permit. These are going to be thousands of homes, super wealthy people, and these people don't want to live in Van Nuys. They like it where they are. They love Malibu. They love the Palisades. They love Santa Monica. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people, and they're going to go, I'm rebuilding, and I want to rebuild as fast as I can. And between the part where they go in to the Planning Commission and plan check and initially and try to pull a permit to the time the first load of lumber, the first load of 2x4s is dropped off on their lot where their house formerly stood, it's going to be 3 years. And 1,000 permits and 1,000 arguments and 1,000 discussions with the Coastal Commission, not to mention little tidbits that they didn't think about, like Carson Daly.
This what he says about Carson Daly here is the epitome of what I'm telling you right now. Carson Daly decided he wanted to build a house and put in a swimming pool, which, you know, pools down here in South Florida are everywhere. You put in a pool's going to cost you, depending on the size, about $20,000 to $30,000 to put in a swimming pool. That should be what it costs in California. Maybe a little bit more if you're on a mountainside or something where they have to shore it up. But look, 50 grand? 60 grand? Maybe? Watch this.
Want a swimming pool? Yep. Got to be double hulled. Really? Yeah. Well, why? Well, what if water leaches out and gets into the groundwater table? Carson Daly had to build a swimming pool like a modern day oil tanker. Had to put like a double hulled. That's all right. It'll just cost 500 grand for a swimming pool. Like that. They're going to be, when they start getting the regulation, they're going to go nuts. And when they start running into the bureaucracy and the red tape, they're going to start going nuts, and they're going to vote for Rick Caruso next time because they want to get, that's all Trump says, is we're going to pull back the regulations, we're going to free people up. They're going to find out, they're going to get bit by their own snake, they're going to convert.
Yep. I don't know if you guys knew this, but after 9/11, so the planes go into 9/11, and all the financial district, basically Wall Street, shut down, and it just shut down because of everything that was going on right down in Midtown. And the guy who's working with Trump now, Harold or Howard Cantor, his big trading company, Fitzgerald Cantor, I believe was the name of it, they got shut down, as did many other Wall Street firms. Do you know what they've done since then? Many of them have created the Wall Street of the South here in Miami on Brickell Avenue, and they have redundant servers so that if something happens in New York City, they've got office spaces, 30,000, 40,000 square feet, just huge amount of empty office spaces. Just in case if something happens in New York, it would take them about 24 hours to man up and be ready to go down here in South Florida. Now, with the way people work from home and your computer systems and broadband, you could probably be basically up and running in 24 hours. Sylvester Stallone and a few other people down here have decided, hey, we're going to make Hollywood of the South. We're going to open up studios down here. We're going to do some things and not have to be worried about what happens in California. I had posted this earlier, tongue-in-cheek, and I said, perhaps now would be a good time for Florida to become the entertainment capital of the world. Great weather, no state income taxes, great real estate opportunities, a welcoming governor and a president, and an infrastructure that works. But wait, on second thought, leave the West Coast live nuttery out there. We're good. Don't come here. We don't want you. Because if you decide to come here, you're going to make stupid movies, number one. And then number two, you're going to bring your stupid ideology and try to replicate it here. No thank you. We don't want it. Stay out there. Unless, of course, you realize you've been hoodwinked and it's time to change up. You're going to see, unfortunately, we are going to see a migration. I know it. I've talked to some real estate brokers down here, and already, in the last 24 hours, they're like, this is about to be good. There are 20, 30, 40 million dollar houses down here that these people ain't got to worry about all that stuff. And have my Malibu, keep it, I'm off to Florida. Watch what happens. Watch how those things change very quickly. But I don't want them. Don't want them. Don't want to see them walking down, Brickell Avenue and stuff. Yeah, they can keep their lib nuttery up there, right, Perry? Don't infect my Florida. Don't do it. But they're gonna have a problem. No, Florida is full. Yeah, I love that. We should put up a sign. Florida is full. Would love to see that. So let me continue so I don't keep you guys here all afternoon. But what's the next video I have? Who is this? All right, so Michael Schellenberger, in case you don't know him, he's an author and he's with Publica, I think, and he's talking about. I got two clips for you here, and one of them is with Nicole Shanahan, which I think she's the hope for California if they were smart enough to elect her. But I want you to listen to what Michael Schellenberger has to say.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Schellenberger for Public. Over the next few weeks, you're going to hear Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass, and the Democratic Party tell you that there's nothing that could have been done to prevent the catastrophic fires from ravaging Los Angeles. Those will be lies. They could have prevented them. Governor Gavin Newsom cut the funding for preventing forest fires and failed to build sufficient water resources for fighting fires. Mayor Karen Bass cut $17.5 million in funding for the Los Angeles Fire Department and then went to Ghana, even though she knew of the risk of catastrophic fires. Now, it's true that California in general, and Los Angeles in particular, are fiery places, and it's true that Santa Ana winds made the fires worse. But Newsom and Bass have known about those hazards for all of their careers and failed to deal with them. The rank incompetence, the lack of leadership is shocking and scandalous. It's hard to overstate how badly they screwed up water management in particular. Los Angeles firefighters haven't had the water they needed. Newsom hasn't built the new water reservoirs that Los Angeles needed. And Newsom even cut the budget for water infrastructure projects last year. So why is that? Well, part of the reason is that they were focused on other things. Making the fire department more racially diverse, climate change, homelessness. And the reason they were focused on those things is because those are what the radical left that controls the Democratic Party wanted them to focus on.
Now, I don't know who these people are who pushed the Democrats to doing this. That's the shadowy part of everything that's going on. Because somewhere along the line, either they funneled money, had to have been money. It had to have been money that they said, do this. Go crazy with the Transformers. Go ahead and make sure you protect the Speedos as much as possible. Do everything you possibly can to completely, offend the rest of society, but then tell the society with brains in their head that you're the ones who are wrong. And they did it so well that many of us probably were like, what is going on with this country? How did you just do this? How did you take the smallest part of society and make them seem as though they're the biggest part of society? It's absolutely crazy. This guy here, lady, Anna Kasparian. I don't know if you know Anna. Anna was with, or she still is with, the Young Turks. Left-leaning, podcasting. I mean, just with Cenk Uygur. You saw Cenk, who went to the Turning Point event and did speech. She's turning now. California, and especially Los Angeles, is controlled by Democrats. They, in big letters, are responsible. No more passing the buck. Our mayor, who was in Ghana, as fires exploded, cut the fire budget by $17 million. Endless amounts of money funneled to BS scammer homeless nonprofits, which is the same thing that Michael Schellenberger was just saying. Why is all this money being diverted to fringe elements of society? We're the highest taxed, yet we have encampments and squalor everywhere. Even worse, we don't have enough firefighters to respond to the absolute disaster we're experiencing right now. Rather than conserve the record rain we got last year, we just drained it into the ocean. They literally just drained their water into the ocean. We are a failing city run by a sick excuse for local government. You want to radicalize people against the Democrat Party? Send them to LA. And then, I didn't know this, one billionaire owns almost all of the water in California. In 1994, the Resnicks secretly seized control of California's public water supply. So let me get this right. You let somebody buy the water? I think they made a movie about that. I mean, it's like Dr. Evil stuff. How did you let some man, a single man, buy the water in your state? Control the flow of water. How is that even mentally possible? It's supposed to be a public utility. Look what it says here. Now, their companies use 150 billion gallons every year while working class people suffer under drought conditions. So what you're telling me is California has water. You just sold it to somebody else. And you're worried about Trump taking over the Panama Canal? You're worried about Trump buying Greaseland? And y'all out here selling your water? Insane.
Year after year, they do nothing while focusing on things like trans and Trump and climate and ignoring the things that really matter to the people of California. The Democrats in California aren't like Democrats in other states. They are radicals. And I should know, since I was a young radical who moved to California for that reason. As many of us get older, we become more moderate, we become more practical, we understand that firefighters and police officers are necessary. And we're reminded of the importance of things like safe streets and hard work and good schools. But more than that, I personally saw the consequences of radical progressive policies on the environment, homelessness, crime, education, water, and everything else. Violent criminals in particular are now devouring Los Angeles, Oakland, and the rest of California. The people who control the Democratic Party in California worship books about Los Angeles like City of Courts by the Marxist author Mike Davis. In that book, Davis claims that the problem in Los Angeles is there's too much money going to things like firefighting to protect wealthy neighborhoods. They did the same thing on crime and homelessness. They failed to provide adequate funding to the police. They weakened the laws that allowed for burglaries and robberies.
So what you're hearing is people are waking up and realizing it's not incompetence. See, the whole incompetence thing is something people tried to make it so that you would look that way instead of realizing everything they're doing on purpose. There's an actual intentional reason why they have been doing everything they've been doing for decades. And that was basically to destroy America. Just bring America to its knees, never have to come in here and fire a shot. Just go ahead and make us capitulate to some world government and never ever have to do anything like, have a war. Bring this country to its absolute knees. You need to understand, as I've said many times, November 5th wasn't that far away. And had she won, they were going to California everything. It's as close. You think I'm lying? Go look up who Karen Bass really is. I would tell you, but I think this is one of those times when you need to do some educating. Look up who Karen Bass is and who she studied under. And realize, wait a minute, they knew this about her? Yeah. And they still made her the mayor of Los Angeles? Not only did they make her the mayor of Los Angeles, she was second to Kamala Harris to be vice president. She was that close to being vice president, and they're like, people might catch on to what we're doing. So let's get the cackling fool out here, and we'll try to bedazzle her because, bedazzle you by saying, oh, here she is, cutesy, airhead. Ain't nothing airhead about her. They had a plan. And if you think I'm lying, go look up Karen Bass and who she studied under and what she really believes. It's been a nefarious plan, and these people have waited for their opportunity. It probably launched with Barack Obama, and they started putting these things in place, and they were close. They were very close. Go look up Karen Bass's history.
They subsidized homelessness, attracting homeless people from all around the United States to camp illegally and start fires in California. Over half of the fires in LA and Oakland are caused by homeless people, mostly committing arson, often out of some petty revenge. We don't know what started all the fires in LA, but at least one started within a housing subdivision. Others may have started in the interface between housing and wildlands. Or it could have been started by the homeless. Whatever the case, California and LA did not invest enough in preventing fires because they were distracted by radical left causes. When Rick Caruso ran for mayor against Karen Bass, he called for increasing the fire department's budget, but a big part of the reason he lost is because he was white. I watched focus groups in 2022, and the most racist people were white liberals in Los Angeles. When they discussed the mayoral race, the white people overwhelmingly said they couldn't vote for a white man and had to vote for a black woman because she was black. Interestingly enough, the Latino men and women in separate focus groups were much less racist. They wanted to know about the policies of the mayoral candidates. It was the radical left that invented the racist idea that all white people today should feel guilty about things that all white people did in the past.
Some more reading for you, and to get an idea where this was headed. And Married to a White Woman, I knew about it, and it scared the hell out of me. Look at what they're doing to white people in South Africa. See, I can't even really talk about it because I don't know how these people here will take it. But all of this is patternistic. And when you see how deep the nefarious plans were, and I shouldn't say were, are, and what they would love to do, and how they would love to subjugate you. That's why, again, I feel we have such a big opportunity to grow the MAGA tent. That's why I think Greenland is on the table. People are seeing this, that they're being, how can you say this? I won't say invaded because you don't even have to invade them. Their leaders are succumbing to this stuff. Canada found out. Canada found out firsthand. Trudeau just started making stuff up and then seizing bank accounts. They didn't need China or other countries to come and invade. Their own government did it to them. Look what's going on in the UK. I can't say most of it because you know how bad it is. But they're letting these guys do things to certain people, and then they're putting you in jail for complaining about it. Then they just had a vote yesterday, 300 to 100, saying, nope, we're not even going to have any investigations into this. But these people are doing stuff, man. Nope, not even going to investigate. La, 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 don't talk to her. Why would that be happening? Many of you probably sit back and go, this is kind of weird. Who's pulling all these strings where all these governments around the world are okay with this stuff? And you just watched what they did to Trump. What they're still trying to do to Trump. I still have to keep refreshing to see if the Supreme Court came in and, basically dropped their decision. But they're trying to sentence the guy tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow I'm going to be going live at about 9:30. I'm going to have one of Trump's attorneys on with me, and we're going to discuss, as we hear the sentencing. If the sentencing happens, he'll be discussing the sentencing and Trump's moves thereafter. And if the sentencing doesn't happen because of the Supreme Court, he's going to explain what exactly happened. So 9:30 tomorrow morning, we're going to go live and we're going to be waiting on that decision. But let's get back to Michael.
Racist white guilt led people in Los Angeles to vote against a guy who would have prevented those fires. And so over the next few weeks, when you hear Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass, and the Democratic Party tell you there's nothing they could have done to prevent those catastrophic fires from destroying Los Angeles, don't believe them. It's time for California to grow up and move beyond the juvenile leftism that has destroyed the state and destroyed Los Angeles. We really can't trust California leaders to run anything. It's not just incompetence, it's that they really don't care. Now,
it's not incompetence. It's that they don't care. You take anything away from today's show, take that away. When people say these people are idiots, they don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. The entire scam is to make you think they don't know what they're doing. What's the movie, The Usual Suspects? The devil's best trick is to think he didn't exist. They want you to think, oh, they made a mistake. They're incompetent. Oh, they don't know what they're doing. They're idiots. They're following a plan. You just saw it yesterday. This woman got off the plane at the airport and had nothing to say. You're not going to talk to your people? You're not going to, answer any questions? She even looked at the camera. You don't have nothing. When you see them in the halls of Congress, and AOC and Ilhan Omar, what do? They have nothing to say. They don't have anything to say because they haven't been told what to say. It's easy to stand up at the podium in Congress and go off the script and go, and blah, 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 blah. But why is it when people are down under the thing and they're like, hey, AOC, what do you think about this? Ilhan Omar, what about... Hey, Rashida Tlaib, they got nothing to say. How can intelligent people not have anything to say? You see an intelligent person, Donald Trump, got a question? Boom. You, and you. Doesn't that strike you when you're hearing people who are supposed leaders in our government have nothing to say when they're unprepared? They just run. I got to get to this point. Why don't if every single one of you who are in business, I don't expect you to know something that you're not trained with, but if you're in a restaurant or somebody comes up to you or you know something and they go, hey, aren't you a builder? Yeah. What kind of this should I do, this or that? Hey, yeah, you should try to do that. If you know what you're talking about, you don't need to walk around with notes. I've been doing real estate for nearly 30 years. Ask me a question. I'll tell you. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you who will know the answer. You've seen him here on prayer night. Pastor JJ is a real estate attorney. I've been doing business with him for 14, 15 years. Hey, Barry, how do I do this and how should I structure this deal? Hey, I would do it this way, but if you want to really know, ask JJ, the attorney. These people, you can't even ask them a question. And we have been conditioned to calling them incompetent. And it's a ploy. They know exactly what they're doing. Exactly. Maybe Biden will answer questions, but he answers as few as he's running out the door. Huh? And remember, that's a guy who's been in politics for 50 years. He should know everything. There's a reason. I mean, at this point, he's demented, so he may not even know. He may be the one that's incompetent. But the other ones? No, you're way too young. And as I watched Karen Bass yesterday, I realized that's a Marxist ploy. Do not say anything until I tell you what to say. I will give you your opinion. I'm paying you $300,000 a year for a job you can't do to make sure you say what I want you to say. You ever notice how a lot of these actors and actresses can't do podcasts and they can't do impromptu interviews? Because they're great actresses and actors because they memorize lines. But ask them something off the cuff and it's like, whoa, I can't blow the illusion here. You think I'm, some sort of great star. But all I do is I look pretty, got big boobs, and I smile, and I'm off to the red carpet. Why? It's an illusion for a reason. And we watched it in Minnesota with Tim Walz. Tim Walz had to start talking. You're like, well, this guy's a blithering idiot. He got exposed. Kamala got exposed. She's from California. Gavin Newsom. Hey, you're going to have to ask the locals about the water. Look at what you're seeing in inner city and in blue areas over and over, and what these people say and what they do. They're complete puppets. Cyber, sad that Biden took 570 days off for vacation. Yep, that's why it's all theater. It's all theater. They are all fake. Somebody's looked up Bass. Bass is a communist. That's why she traveled to Cuba 15 times some years ago. You notice they Fang with Swalwell. Chinese, it's all there. They just won't talk about it. So let's conclude this video.
It was the time for Californians to demand new leaders, ones who aren't beholden to the radicals who control the Democratic Party.
I so deeply want to see California back on its feet. I so deeply want to stop the hemorrhaging of funds that are being laundered to all corners of these very broken, corrupt schemes, whether they be around.
In case you guys don't know, this is Nicole Shanahan. And I have a political crush on Nicole Shanahan. She was RFK Jr.'s running mate. She would have been his vice president if he was able to run for for presidency the way he wanted to. She's brilliant. She knows her stuff, and she's passionate about what she does. And she's out in California. People are saying she needs to be the next governor. And so, this little clip here is her telling people what she's seen in California.
Trying to clean up street violence. I mean, it's endless. The climate schemes, the housing schemes, the farming schemes. It's just scheme after scheme after scheme, and it just is so anti-human, and it's so anti-competency, and it's so anti-Californian, and it's so anti-American. I'm so sick of it. It's suffocating. It's suffocating everybody here. And I've tried to combat it privately through, private advocacy and trying to figure out how to work with the existing government. Karen Ross is our Secretary of Agriculture here. I've tried to work with her. I've tried to work with universities. I've tried to work with nonprofits. And we are just up against forces that continue to shock me how, insidious it is. How insidious.
Strong word. She is peeling back the onion layers at this point and going, this isn't incompetence. These people are insidious. They are nefarious. They are in insomnia. People are starting to see, hey man, this is really bad. They have an agenda. They're executing that agenda. They're putting these people in place to intentionally destroy certain areas. I don't know how these fires started. Don't know. I don't know how the fire started in Lahaina and Maui. Don't know. In fact, they stopped talking about it, haven't they? You don't even hear people mention Maui and Lahaina anymore. Nobody wants to even talk about that. Not sure why. But she's talking about the insidious nature of the Democrats.
And how these ideas for humanity are not coming, these are not California grown solutions. They're coming in from elsewhere. And they're telling the California state officials that this is how you combat climate change. You cut water off from farmers. And these are the programs for fallowing lands. And these are the programs that you need to get out in relation to electric cars. And these are the programs. This is not, none of it's logical. None of it fits the native Californian need. It's harming people. It's driving people out. It's driving businesses out. We're losing so much in corporate tax revenue because corporations just can't stand it anymore. We're losing some of our most talented engineers. We're losing some of our most talented doctors and teachers. I mean, it is really, really sad, and it's happening very, very quickly. So we cannot afford for this regime of individuals who are importing these, I hate using the term globalist policies. It's because it's these nihilistic policies that are really, I think, designed to undermine the strength and integrity of our nation. And
that's what I'm telling you. This stuff is designed to undermine America, to weaken us at our foundation. Basically cut us off at the knees. You don't have to have an invading army. You don't have to have drones dropping bombs. You just take the biggest cities in the country and absolutely destroy them. And you can just pick them out. And they're all exactly the same way. Los Angeles, Chicago. Just go and start picking them out. And why are they like this? Why are they promoting poverty? Why are they promoting crime? Why are they bringing people in who don't assimilate, who don't want to be a part of the American dream? They keep calling some of these people the dreamers, when the people they're bringing in now, they don't give a shit about the American dream. They don't care. They want to steal your dream. And meanwhile, they're loading up their pockets. They're making tens of millions of dollars. And people need to wake up and see this here should be a bigger wake up than even North Carolina. Because you're looking at, Asheville, small town. Appalachia, small area. Los Angeles, one of the biggest metropolitan areas in the country, if not the world. And they let this happen? How could it be that one of the most populated, affluent areas of the United States, they allowed this to happen? And I don't mean allowed to fire. Fire can happen anywhere. I'm talking about no water, no response, nothing going on. It's crazy.
California is such an easy target, has been an easy target for these individuals for generations now. And we've got to nip it in the butt. Californians want change. They don't want any more of this bullshit. They know that their problems are not due to Donald Trump, as they've been told. We've been told for the last 8 years, all of your problems are Donald Trump's fault. And it's not the case. Maybe we could have believed that in 2020, but it is, it's very clear that our problems only got worse under President Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yep. And it's right in your face. See, that's where it changed. Before, it was kind of like in the shadows. People could live their lives. Everything was going to be okay. You didn't have to experience what some of the stuff that they were doing. But the more they did it, the more you then had to experience. It's because at that point, that's happening. It's getting it done. It's getting it done. Then in the last couple of weeks, we're seeing them really crank things up. You got a president of the United States of America telling people you're not going to be allowed to drill in the territorial waters off the coast. Why would you do that to America? See, now it's starting to affect people it didn't normally affect. And people are starting to see it. I'm like, wait a second. And I just keep telling people, the ones who are bitching about the H-1B visas and everything else, and I'm like, do you realize what would have happened had she taken office? That would have been the least of your problems. They had 87,000 IRS agents ready to go. I had put in my title yesterday, I was going to talk about, are you still paying taxes? Because there's some stuff bubbling up. I'm not sure if it's prudent to talk about here, but people are talking about, maybe it's time to start looking at whether or not we should be paying taxes. And unfortunately, for so many people, they made it not an option. Because your employer takes it out before you even see it. Who created that? Made your employer a collection agent for the IRS. How is that even legal? Well, they made it legal, and probably ain't going to change it. Americans are going to have to take that back. And that's why another reason why they're ticked off at Trump, because they see where he's going. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. It's not that big of a leap to just say, hey, listen, let's just do away with that. There's an idea that would be overwhelmingly positive. So why would Democrats be against it? Because there's many Democrats would be, hey, that sounds pretty good to me. Gotta wonder. Right, stop taking my money. Yeah, you don't even have a choice. In order to get your job, you sit there and fill out the paperwork, and one of the first pieces of paper is, we get to take your money. We're going to give it to you, and we're going to take it away. Oh, man, get rid of the IRS. Yeah, if go back to the honor system. You will own nothing and love it. We weren't far away from that at all. The enemy has been here for a long time, commies in Congress. They waited, and they waited, and they waited. Newsom can, well, see, people were saying this too. Newsom's presidential aspirations for 2028 just went up in smoke. I have to disagree. You see, as long as the Democrats, with somebody even like Kamala Harris, can trick 50% of the people, or say 48% of the people, to vote for them, it's not up in smoke. It's this far away. And you feel probably the same I do, is that it's only this far away because they won't, the whole thing about IDs to vote. They don't want that. Why? Because they set it up so that they can do what they need to do. So they're going to fight tooth and nail until the black peoples can't get no IDs. I guarantee you, if I told somebody, hey, listen, I got a check for $5,000 for you, but you got to bring your ID and show me it's you, they're going to bring that ID. They're going to show up and show you the ID so they can get that check. But God forbid you ask them to show ID. Oh, it's a suppression because the black people can't get IDs. It's 2025, but you can't get a flippin' ID. Give me a break. Give me a break. That's such a lame argument. It's not even funny. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up the afternoon show with some funny 10 stuff.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
So I want to reach down and bring you up.
Oh,
and that's kind of something that stuck with me
to this day.
Part of that work means speaking up for those who can't. Over the last few years, LAFD has dealt with a fair share of controversy, and Larson not afraid to sound the alarm.
I chose to speak out pretty much by myself about the issues of sexism and racism within my department and the need for change. I don't think there's any question that our department is the best at fighting fires. We do it better than anybody in the world. But when it comes to the personnel side, we have some issues, and they're not insurmountable, but they need to be addressed and fixed to the best of everybody's ability.
So that was another of the remarkable DEI hires in the fire department. That was the battalion chief. And if you put a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you whether they squat to pee or if they stand to pee.
Number 9.
The only reason that you're able to see us right now is because of a Starlink connection that we just got today. That's the only reason we're able to hear and communicate with you guys right now, because there's absolutely no cell service at all in this whole area.
All right, sorry that was a small, but I wanted to put that in there because it's very, very important. Things are burning down all over California, well, the LA area. And in addition to not having pots and pans to boil the water, they don't even have service. So the guy that the Democrats hate shipped in some Starlinks so that they could have cell service to hear and watch on video their water department lady say, go ahead and boil water right now. Because, I know you don't have any pots and pans or a roof or a stove to cook it on, and you don't even have a cell phone to even see me do the video.
Number 8.
Were you guys prepared enough for this? Did we have enough resources to fight these fires?
No, LA County and all 29 fire departments in our county are not prepared for this type of widespread disaster. There are not enough firefighters in LA County to address 4 separate fires of this magnitude. We're doing the very best we can, but no, we don't have enough fire personnel in LA County between all of the departments to handle this.
So you live in an area that is prone to forest fires. And forest fires, four. If we have 4 fires, we are completely not able to handle this. We don't have any sort of preparedness. National Guard, I don't know. Yeah, what do you mean you're not prepared? We know if we get a hurricane that's come flying in here, we know what we need to do. And you're telling me you don't even have volunteers? You can go up through Appalachian, all through Georgia and Tennessee. There's volunteer fire departments. You mean you tell me you brought in 20 million newcomers and they can't fight fires? You can't deputize them and say, hey man, hold a hose. Oh, we can't hold a hose. We ain't got any damn water.
Number 7.
Leland, good morning to you. We can see President-elect Trump now enter.
All right, so this is great. This is Jimmy Carter's funeral, and Trump arrives. That's Melania ahead of him. And this is like the first time that he sees Mike Pence, I guess, in a long time. And this shocked the people on television because there were a couple of funny scenes here in this entire funeral exchange. And in this one here, he shakes Mike Pence's hand. Pence looked like he wasn't, I guess he wants to shake my hand. Hope he doesn't punch me in the face. But what's really interesting is Mike Pence's wife. As you can see, there's the Melania. Watch how she just basically ignores them.
In the room for this morning's service.
Al Gore, Mike Pence there with former President Trump. I'm not sure former Vice.
See, Mrs. Pence sat there and didn't extend an arm or a hand to either Melania or Donald Trump. Tells me straight up, these people are pieces of crap.
Donald Trump have seen each other.
Look, she won't even look at her. Man, this entire funeral had so many subplots going on, it was amazing.
Since
Number 6.
All right, this is a good one. Okay. So, Kamala and her husband, because they're the current president and vice president, they're vice president, and then watch what's about to happen here. So Trump, Trump is in the back row, and Trump cracks me up because Trump seems like he's that guy that he's like Joe Pesci, and he goes to a party, he just, hey, I work the room. So Trump's sitting next to Obama. By the way, Michelle decided she wasn't going to show up. I hate America and I hate all these people, so I'm not showing. So she doesn't show up. So Obama's sitting there by himself, and Trump being Trump's like, well, let me have a conversation with Obama, which is shocking to everybody, especially to Kamala. Watch Kamala here. This is great. So first of all, the music's playing, and Trump and Obama decide they're going to start talking. And notice Obama initiated that. So Kamala turns around and looks at it. And I love, if I had a close-up, the look that Melania is giving Kamala right now. She is shooting daggers at her. Kamala wasn't happy with that. He's talking to the enemy. Leave it to Trump to strike up a conversation at a funeral. I just thought it was just interesting. This man will talk to anybody, anywhere. He don't care. We've seen him do his press conferences, and he's leaning over. Hey, Brock. Hey, man, got to talk to you for a second, okay? They're the only people talking. Everybody else staring straight ahead. We're at a funeral. The dude's dead. He's laying over there. What are you talking about? We got some stuff we got to talk, man. I know some stuff. They're having a conversation at a funeral. Look, nobody else is talking. There's Hillary and Bill. Hillary's probably saying, what the hell are they talking about over there? I just thought that was hilarious. But it gets better. It gets even better. Let's watch.
5.
President Obama there, elected in 2008, served 2 terms, and then yielded there to President Donald Trump.
Number 4.
I just thought that was like, he said something made him laugh. He's like, yeah, I had posted it earlier and go, caption this. And like, hey, man, did Joe ever poop his pants around you? Hey, did you ever look at Hillary? Can you imagine Bill seeing her naked? Oh, my God. He said something that broke him up. I mean, it had to have been something so off the cuff. Who knows what Trump said to him?
I started the year as...
All right. This is good, too. This is good. So the Ice Queen comes in, otherwise known as Jill Biden, and she's got to sit down, and they put her right next to Kamala. Not only does she not even, neither one of them even pretend the other one's in the room, Jill Biden comes in and gives her the shoulder, like, shit, you piece of crap. Oh, this is great.
The would-be Democratic presidential nominee.
Look at Kamala looking down at her.
And we all know what happened after that.
She turns, doesn't even want her in her purview.
Again, you didn't see a particularly warm greeting between the first couple and the second couple, but again, we are at a funeral, so one has to take that into account when trying to read the body language of the individuals there.
So Jake Tapper felt so uncomfortable. He's trying to explain why they're not talking to each other. I mean, they are at a funeral. And, we shouldn't speculate why they're not talking to each other. Are you a freaking idiot? Have you not paid attention for the last 5 months? They threw the guy to the curb, deservedly so, and they put her in, and you expect them to be chummy. Come on, Jake. You know exactly why she don't want to talk to that witch.
Number 3.
Allora, il problema è che Elon Musk è, diciamo...
All right, so this is Giorgio, whatever how you say her name, Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy. And she's making a speech, and she's basically telling these people in Europe, quit picking on the first bro. Elon Musk is not a bad guy.
Influente e ricco, o che Elon Musk non è di sinistra? Cioè, scusate, perché io capisco che cos'è ingerenza, e esprimere le proprie opinioni è ingerenza fino a un certo punto, ripeto, può piacere, può non piacere, io posso anche non condividere alcune cose, ma non è una cosa diversa. Dopodiché, secondo me, l'ingerenza sulla sovranità di un paese si ha quando i miliardi vengono spesi per condizionare le scelte politiche pagando gli esponenti politici. E questo purtroppo è accaduto da noi in passato e nessuno si è stracciato le vesti. Così come è accaduto, perdonatemi anche qui, che altri, diciamo, alcuni di questi miliardari censurassero la gente sulle loro piattaforme, compreso il presidente, l'allora, diciamo, presidente degli Stati Uniti non rieletto Donald Trump. E andava bene, ma quella è un'ingerenza sulla democrazia o non è un'ingerenza sulla democrazia? Allora cerchiamo di rimettere le cose nel loro alveo, perché io francamente quelli che fino a ieri dicevano che gli esponenti della grande finanza che spesso scommettono contro gli stati nazionali, che finanziano esponenti di associazioni politiche, va bene, è filantropia. Se una persona che non è delle stesse idee dice le sue idee senza finanziare partiti ed associazioni...
I don't know what she's saying, I'm reading along with you, but she's basically telling these people, chill, Elon Musk is good. Chill, you must chill.
Perché segnalo che io non prendo soldi da Elon Musk, per cui le lezioni, ho tutto rispetto, da quelli che semmai li hanno presi da George Soros, insomma, anche no, con tutto il rispetto. Quindi, francamente, io, ripeto, d'accordo o non d'accordo, ma questo pericolo per la democrazia non lo vedo.
Love what she said. She basically said, she actually said, y'all don't have any problem with George Soros, right? And what's your problem? And you saw the sour faces, because as we've been talking about today, the nefarious, insidious nature of what these globalists have tried to do, it's falling apart across the world. The left is in tatters across the globe, and they see it falling apart. They were so close. They were so close to getting the prize of America. And it's fallen apart, and other people in other countries are beginning to see it and realize we don't want this crap. Poor England. I don't know what they're going to do. But we're seeing Argentina's coming back strong. We're seeing El Salvador's coming back strong. We're seeing countries like Italy bringing in people who are like, we're done with this stuff. Over it.
2.
Let me hear. All right, so this is the most cringy thing you'll see today. They decided they were going to make some sort of Democrat promotional video. And boy, is it cringe. Oh my God, is it cringe.
Okay.
How's my tie? Is it okay? It's not straight.
Here we go.
We're different.
Wisconsin.
Rhode Island.
Hawaii.
New York.
From the Great Lakes.
To the Mountain West.
The Pacific Northwest.
To the South.
And the Northeast.
Coast to coast.
We have differences.
And some disagreements. But Senate Democrats are fiercely united on this.
We are not here because of who we are against.
We are here because of who we are for.
Every one of us
was elected to fight for working Americans.
For American families.
For you.
For you.
For you. We're here to make housing more affordable.
To help working Americans keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. To lower the cost.
Do you realize you had 4 years to do that already? Now you want to help people keep more of their paycheck? Now you want to make things more affordable? These people think Americans are stupid. As I've been saying many times, these people cannot win another major election without some tomfoolery. There's no way. They're so obtuse. They have no idea.
Also, child care,
prescription drugs,
and yes, groceries.
To help small businesses thrive.
And every child have a safe and great public education.
We are here to fight.
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 To fight for Americans. We will work with anyone.
If they want to make life better for you. But
if Donald Trump and Senate Republicans
do things to her.
Oh, we're willing to fight for everybody except for Donald Trump. You just said you wanted people to keep more of their own hard-earned money. Guess you didn't mean it.
Hurt you.
We will fight. We will fight. If they come after affordable health care. If they pursue policies that drive up costs.
If they ignore the threat of climate change.
They put this out, was it yesterday or today? The threat of climate change. So if Trump and the Republicans ignore climate change, we're going to fight. Guess what else is coming?
If they come after our troops and veterans' benefits,
if they take away access to reproductive rights, attack our basic freedoms,
if they try to enrich their friends, if they pay for tax cuts for the wealthy by coming after your paycheck,
your Social Security, your Medicare,
they will have to come through us.
Through us.
Through us.
Your terms are acceptable. Yes, your terms are acceptable.
This is a new Congress. It is a new day.
We are united.
Determined. Ready.
The 119th Congress has begun.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get to work.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get started.
Number.
Now you see why I say these people can't win? This is crazy. This is crazy town. They don't even seem to believe that November 5th even happened. She got busted in a landslide despite winning states that had no voter ID. And now all of a sudden, people aren't supposed to realize what just the hell happened. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, so I'm going to start leaving people in a good, positive note. So let's look at number one, because it's extremely uplifting.
Number one.
I don't think we choose whether or not we worship. We just choose what we worship, because surely we are worshipping something. This I have experienced and been educated in because I come from a background of addiction. My introduction to God was through surrender to abstinence through 12-step programs. When alcohol was removed from my life, when drugs were removed from my life, I recognized that the pursuit that I was engaged in was always a spiritual one, that I was looking for God, looking to synthesize God chemically, and I believe this to be true of all addicts. And now I recognize that there is a corollary and parallel between addiction and sin. And addiction is an attempt to elevate the profane into the sacred. This is what I have been shown.
And Barry, why did you include that part? I included that because of the first thing he said. We all worship. It's just, what is it that you worship? And it took somebody like him who womanized, drugged, drink, money, to realize you're worshiping. What your focus is and what it should be is, what are you worshiping? And everything we're seeing happen in California right now, I personally believe it's going to cause a lot of people to seek something out. You're losing everything. Your friends are losing everything. Your family is losing everything. I'm seeing animals and dogs wandering the street. I'm seeing people wondering about wildlife and rabbits, and all this stuff is happening. And these people, whether they're rich of rich or poor of poor, are going to turn to something very quickly. You watched James Woods yesterday, and you watched this man who's accomplished so much in his life being brought to tears. And he was talking about this little girl that came out with her piggy bank and said, you know what? Here, this can help rebuild everything. And you at this point need to know that people need you. Doesn't matter who they are. And you have to open doors and take the opportunity to talk to them. It's funny. SV, who is one of the mods, texts me something here. He doesn't know I had this already in the show. And it's a perfect example of exactly what he just texted me. It's right there. And it's what I'm linking when I'm saying open and take the opportunity. I want you to watch or read what I'm going to show you. I keep telling you, watch the moves this man is making. You have to watch what he's doing, and then you need to emulate it. And a lot of people are pushing back against me. And I'm saying, dude, lady, watch what the boss is doing, look at what he's trying to do, and then you should be doing exactly the same. Everybody who's affected by this stuff in California is going to be out looking for some sort of soul searching. You have to. You saw James Woods. And I've said, take the opportunity to make this tent big. You never know who it is you're going to be talking to. I told you when I went to go get my hair cut, a little bit of hair I have yesterday, somebody recognized me and we started talking. I told you about that. And you never know. Well, John Fetterman will be visiting President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He'll be the first sitting Democrat senator to do so. Fetterman says, I think it's pretty reasonable that the president would like to have a conversation or invite someone to have a conversation to have it, and no one is my gatekeeper. So Fetterman is heading down here to Mar-a-Lago. And it's so funny because the SV just literally just texted me that. So we're thinking in the same mind, SV. So why would Trump sit down and bring John Fetterman, who's probably going to show up in a sweatshirt, probably get kicked out, I'm sure Trump said, dude, bring a suit. Trump's reaching out to John Fetterman, a big, hulking, slovenly, slobbery-looking guy, and he's saying, okay, from the other side, come on in. Let's talk. Don't know if we'll agree on much, but at least let's talk. Trump is wasting no opportunity. Opportunity, I keep saying that word to you. He is wasting no opportunity to broaden that tent. Not shrink it, broaden it. If Fetterman wants to come down to Palm Beach, come on down, John. We'll break bread. We'll sit at the same table and we'll talk. You may leave thinking I'm an asshole. You may leave thinking he's not a bad guy. But at least I'm taking the opportunity. And think how big of an opportunity this is. I'm just asking you to talk to people on Twitter, X, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I'm on Facebook and I can talk to someone who doesn't like me, who doesn't maybe even know me. This man is bringing him into his home, where his son sleeps, where his wife sleeps, and says, "Come on in. I'm welcoming you into my home." As my dog is barking at something. All I'm asking you is to type a few words. Reach out to people. Reach out to these people in California. Don't slam them. Don't call them you rich, stupid, elitist. Hey man, hope everything's going okay. From a MAGA person to you, hope everything's okay. That's all you gotta say. They may never read it, but somebody else might. And lo and behold, every time I bring it up, I'm like, the boss is doing it. Don't blame me. I didn't make it up. There it is. It's happening. If he can do it, you can do it. That's how I keep looking at it. If he can do it, I can do it. And so those people on the fringe right, who may be as bad as people on the fringe left. In fact, today I saw that, and I follow him, but Jack Posobiec said that John Fetterman is a psyop. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, Jack, you think Trump's inviting a psyop into his home? They're not meeting in Congress. They're not meeting in some Senate office building. He's bringing Fetterman into his home. He leaned over and started joking with Obama. The man is going to try and build a coalition, and he needs you, and he needs me. And some of us have preconceived notions that I think we just got to get rid of, because you can see where he's going with this. Yep, United. Melissa says, "United we stand." God can destroy the Democrat Party without destroying the people Jesus saves. Yep. Test on Fetterman has surprised me. Fetterman has surprised a whole lot of people. Absolutely, he has. People losing it is their plan. Why is it so hard for someone to admit they've been scammed? Yeah, I mean, remember who said justice is mine? Bingo. Fetterman has seen the light. See, some of you guys are seeing it. Some of you guys are going to resist. I understand, and I just consider it my job to try and let you, when I see what things are happening and how they're happening, I try to give you my perspective and let you know what I'm thinking. Let me get ready to get out of here. Just want to let you know, where's my graphic? There's my graphic. If you want to join our group of 12,000, it's probably going to be 13,000 as I'm talking right now. Close to 13,000 fellow patriots. It's free. Oh, by the way, somebody had sent me something that said they paid to enter that group. I have no idea what you're talking about. There is no fee whatsoever. There is no fee. If you want to join that group, there is no cost. All you have to do is go here, and if you go to that URL, fanfareshop.org/group, if you go to that URL, it will take you immediately to the sign up, and there's no fee on this. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what people were talking about. Never heard of this guy until a few minutes ago. Okay. What are your dogs? My dog, one of them is a Chihuahua, and the other one is a Maltese. The new one is a Maltese. Yeah, Trump will talk to anyone, as well as we should as well. And tonight, in 2 hours, we do the nighttime show. Where's this? Okay. You can go here and sign up. Every nighttime show we do, we give away hoodies. Tonight we'll give out 3. So I'm going to have to make tonight's show on point and quick. You know why? Because Notre Dame plays tonight. So I'm going to have to get in there. I got it on DVR, but I don't want to miss my Notre Dame or anything. So let's talk and go over whatever super chats there are. Hold on here. Somebody put this. I searched by a $. Somebody goes, she makes $750,000 more than the president. He's talking about that water lady from Los Angeles. Yeah, insane. Police 45 DEI is the reason I won't fly anymore. Air traffic controllers. Ruth McCurdy, forgive me, Barry, but Kamala's neck looked like. I can't say that. That's too funny. Tin Lee, they have to come through us, except we don't have the House, the Senate, or the President, or the popular votes. Yeah, I know. It was the stupidest video ever. CR goes, I need a barf bag. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Kelly Panetsky, Barry, thanks for the truth. Thank you. Ronald Zimmerman, President Trump take over California. I think you're going to hear a lot of people talking that way. And Jeff 26 says, why is it no one can figure out we can't put out a fire right by the ocean? Fires don't care if it's fresh or salt water. Fires aren't picky. I think what they had said was the planes that go in and scoop up the water, the winds were 90 or 100 miles an hour, so they couldn't get those planes in the air. But why they don't have some sort of irrigation where they can just pump as much water as they want, that would require planning, I guess. Glenda Cruz, glad you're back. Thank you very, very much. Susie Q Gifts. Allie Carter said it weeks ago that places will burn down, evidence will disappear. It will be linked to some of the stuff with the kids. That's possibly. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I don't put anything past them right now. Hi, Sandra. Sandra J.G. Thompson. Tchaikovsky said if you want to destroy the civilization, raise up your least competent to levels of power and demean and lower your most competent. Yep. That's how you do it from within. Absolutely. Rodney Lee, thank you very much. Psychedelic Starling said, Barry, I'm in Georgia and you can't get a swimming pool for 20 to 30,000. We put one in 3 years ago for 90. Could have spent 60 if we bought a liner pool. Maybe because your water table or that Georgia clay, but down here you can get a decent pool for 30,000. Ed Powell, I wish it could be more, Barry, but never apologize. Thank you very much. Very much for that. Let me just go here. Truth be told, there's no way Newsom legitimately won his recall. Yeah, I agree with that. Daniel Rhodes, Barry, please run for Congress. We need people with common sense. No, God, too old for that. Let's see what else here. We got CR. They're going to try to make smart cities. Look, if you don't know what a smart city is, you may want to look into that. These people in charge are embarrassing, CR says. Yeah, really bad. Really bad with what they're doing to some of these people. And it's on purpose. I wonder if they're going to get $750. Let's see here. Petrast, so much trust in the hands of a joker. DEI clowns. DEI, man, that was... Whoever came up with that not only came up with it, how did they convince all these corporations to go along with it? That's absolutely absurd. Kimberly Honea says, look up Smart LA 2028. Yep, I bet you that has a lot to do with the DEI and smart cities. Angela Estelle, if this doesn't open a lot of Americans' eyes, I don't know what will. I agree with you. And that might be it. I think the dog is barking because he wants to go eat. And let me see. Beverly Litton. Where is that? Hold on one second. Beverly Litton, could you post a link to the marvelous video you used to end your show? I love it. Okay, I'll put it in the group. Damian Weaver, thank you very, very much. And Mel Porter, you're doing a great job. You know who else is doing a great job? Ashley's doing a great job. We had Nancy Mace booked, and then all this stuff happened at the end of the year. Nancy Mace has been rebooked. She will be here next Wednesday. So look forward to that. Hey, Randy, I trust whatever Trump does. Exactly. That's what I've been saying. And then, so tomorrow, let me just reiterate. 9:30 tomorrow, we're going to be going live real early, 9:30. The sentencing is supposed to happen 9:30, 10 o'clock. We'll have one of Trump's attorneys on here, Peter Titkin, and when he gets sentenced, we'll talk about that. And if the Supreme Court jumps in before then, we'll be able to talk about that as well. So make sure you set your alarm and get here at 9:30 tomorrow. It's 5:45. I'll see you guys at 7:30. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good short evening. Come back here 7:30 before the Notre Dame game.